each team try to make a short presentation because we have the 17, so I don't think we have enough time.
So the purpose, so we found that we want to find if it is possible that we can predict the preference of the political issues using Twitter, and if it's possible, so we can apply this method or approach to predict some political events. It's like the Hillary pronounced she will attend the next election campaign. So if there's a political events, so in the Twitter somebody or everybody in the Twitter will discuss with that, so we can immediately get the preference of this event. So how many people support this or how many people don't support this. So the data set we get is from April 1st, about 2 weeks. The data set is 2 gigabytes, contain 524,000 tweets. So this,
how did you find the tweet?
We using so much hashtag and keywords. So it's not only one hashtag. So get rid of the retweet tweets. So it's almost 435,000 tweets. So the tweet example is like this. So we can get information from the tweet stream, but we can't find the location here. So we just give it as example. So it's like you can see this the second tweet. So this guy is support Hillary.
So you just keep the tweet with the location.
Yeah, if it contains the location.
Okay.
And the ground truth is easy to find. This is we found that in New York Times. So it's this last I think the support rate 2012 results. So
the presidential campaign.
Yeah.
The result.
This is the result. So I think the red one is support Romney. The blue one is.
Why don't you find the political poll regarding to the presidential campaign? They may be changed after the last election, but there might be current result, like the presidential poll, like the Quinnipiac University has a rate. So why don't you compare with the probably slightly changed? Okay, there the trend is usually changed. Some of the states are very concrete, like the Texas never changed it, but some of the states are the swing, it's called the swing states. So depending on the time or the event issues, they sometimes the Republican. So why don't you search? There might be result from the well-known, the poll, the institutions such as the Quinnipiac University has one of them, and there might be another. So you can use such a result, recent result as so another ground. You may have the several ground truths to compare. That's the one way. So it's not ground truth. Some of the options to compare. Yes.
Yes. And the professor, since we talked about that we're gonna use sentiment analysis to see whether the Twitter users are a favorite Republican or Democratic, so we're gonna use a naive base classifier. We found the training data set from Sentiment 140. This is like a research group from Stanford. They collected and they labeled about 1 million tweets, like for 3 years. So actually, we're gonna use their data set as a training set. We're just gonna train a naive Bayes classifier based on that to predict our tweets, because our tweets are not classified to either positive or negative. So we're gonna just classify them based on the sentiment using naive Bayes. These are the references that we used. Like we got the data, the ground truth from the New York Times, and we got the training set from the last one. So if you have any questions, we'll be happy
What
to
about
answer.
the output? So are you thinking the visualization
Actually,
of the
we
output?
want to do like this, Professor, and if we can do like a histogram as the third dimension.
The
Yes.
server on top of
If
the.
we can, yeah, we.
So why don't you think about the better way? Not just the showing the 90% accurate, but you can show the state by state. Yes.
Yeah.
Then also you can think about even the dynamic. So if you see the New York Times the result from last campaign, there are a bunch of different ways to show the result. Okay. So you can get the idea from that. Nowadays, such a visualization is a very important task. How to show your result. So also select one of them, whether you can make the 3D visualization to clean up. Okay, at the time. So what program language are you thinking?
Java.
Java. So Java anyway to utilize 3D printer. Output should be 3-dimensional data X and Y Z. I'm not sure whether Java you can find any the API or the UTC program that can convert such a data into the 3D. Otherwise, you can use something R programming. So you can, as the input, you can get the output from the Java. Then use the R programming as a data set. Then manipulate in the 3D. Okay. So why don't you think about such a thing? Any question or suggestion? Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Team number 2.
Hi everyone. First, we will talk about our main purpose clearly, and then we will show our progress of our project. So the background of our project, we build a connect trace by keyword NFL using Twitter API, and we connected more than 4.4 million tweets, and the data set is 17 gigabytes. So here is a spammer definition. A user who produces noise by retweeting every tweet from some specific user. I can, for example, if you are a famous person and you have a lot of followers, and some of these followers will retweet every tweet, and we define that is spammers. So the size of data sets is very large, and we take too much time to process the data. So we want to delete these spammers. And the users who retweet every single tweet from other users are spammers that add noise to the social network, and this will affect our result.
The main target of our project is to reduce the size of data set by removing the spammers from our data. So right now we have a data of 17 GB, and according to Twitter, 31% tweets are the retweets, and out of that 31% tweets, it might be 25 or 28% of the spammers. So if we reduce our data by 25% or 30%, our processing speed of the data is fast. So our main target is to reduce the size of the data sets and get the accurate result with the 100% data and 70% data. So this is our data, which includes all the users, all the spammers. And our target is to remove the spammers, so our data size is reduced. We are going to use weekend pattern recognition algorithms will be used to identify strong association rules. We are going to find the strongest association rule between the users that will find out the spammers, and for that we are going to implement a priori algorithm in Python language.
So this is a Twitter API. We don't need all this information to process the data and to detect events correctly. What we did so far is that we developed the algorithm to manipulate the data, clean it, and put it in a graph format, and then we applied a priori algorithm on it. So this is the preliminary results that we got. We found association rules between different users. But the problem we have now is that because we are not processing the whole data, so the support and the confidence is not 100% correct. We need to process the whole data as a batch to get the correct result. So we're planning to finalize the data, get the association rules, eliminate users who are identified spammers as per our definition, are those who always retweet for other users, and hopefully we'll get a smaller data set, and we'll evaluate it with another research that we did earlier, where we've been able to identify detect events. So we are hoping that the new data set will reflect the same shape of the data that we are having now. And we've always used the Canvas team portal to communicate with each other.
In the project, why don't you think about the good title of your project that can show your objective? Still, it's not clear what you guys want to do in this project. Okay, clarify.
Okay.
So, what is the objective of your project? Whether you guys analyze something data, or whether you want to detect something to clarify your objective. And also, just like the project team one, also you need to think about how to visualize the result of your project. Okay. Also, as I mentioned, one thing is you need to think about the 3D visualization. Even though it's not directly related, why don't you think about whether any possibility? So it's just for your training purpose. It's the same thing to the other teams. Even though your output is not related to 3D, in the on purpose, why don't you think about the 3D output? It's for your training purpose. Okay. Any suggestion? Okay. The next team number 3.
Thank you.
So we were doing the mining for Super Bowl, and we wanted to look at the social influence of the Super Bowl. We were going to use Twitter's API to accomplish this. However, Twitter's API only indexes about the past 2 weeks, and after that the API does not return results. We've looked into some third-party indexers, but we haven't been hearing back from them in a reasonable time. So we've gone ahead and we've only changed the event. What was it?
The Champions League
Champions League.
is the big championship of soccer in the Europe. So it's really current now in the playoffs. So we can
So you
get
change the topic of the Twitter.
no just the data set.
Just for data set.
Yes.
The championship. Is it soccer event?
Yes.
The championship in Europe. Is it the UEFA?
Yes.
Is it correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So not the mining NFL tweet.
Right.
Okay. But you only replace the data set only, but the objective is the same.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So we just
So
now.
your title should be changed. Mining
Yes.
the whatever.
Or we can generic.
Soccer tweet.
Yeah. So we want to look at those tweets, see how people are reacting to, the games. We should probably see spikes around the goals and any interesting plays. So we should still hopefully get the same kind of interesting results that we were hoping with the NFL, the Super Bowl, but perhaps just not as large spikes or as dramatic. Because of the Super Bowl is much.
Just one time. Super Bowl
Yeah.
is also just one time.
Right.
Okay.
We're currently doing the sentimental analysis.
What
and
analysis?
Sentimental.
Sentimental analysis.
And just trying to figure out what the best way to get all of that is, and how to best plot it, as well as thinking about our 3D chart. We haven't stressed too much on the 3D chart yet. We just want to get all the other data first and then see how we can put all of it together to make a 3D chart that's interesting and conveys meaning. So, yeah, any questions?
So I think in this kind of research, I understand because it's the first time. Even for me, it has been just a couple of years to do the social media analysis. So first time, if you are not familiar with the team number 4, are you going to use the laptop? Yeah, why don't you set up during the discussion? Because before time off. So your goal is the kind of event detection, right?
Yes.
But the event itself is too broad, actually. So you'd better narrow down what is the event in your project.
Okay.
Okay. So that can be event, can be anything, can be event. Even the is it the UEFA? I cannot remember UEFA. So UEFA has a lot of events, not just game, but also some during the interview or during the preparation or the qualification round. So there's many different events. So at that time, you can narrow down the problem. So that because our goal is not the output only, but we need to see the feasibility of applying the algorithm. Okay, because this is not the kind of competition. This is for training purpose. So you do better. The focus on some narrow down. If you cannot clearly see the result, the artificial you can remove some tweet and so please narrow down. Even that is not very general the idea, but narrow down what is the event in your research. That's the first thing. Then at the time you can apply something sentimental analysis to whether the people like this event, whether that fit to your own definition of the event. Then also think about also this time how to make the good output result, like including the 3D and some the video stuff, whatever. Okay.
Thank you.
But anyways, because you changed the data set, so you need to be in a hurry. So where's another member? So you have the 3, 4.
Yes.
3.
So you didn't join?
Yes,
Then why you are sitting over there?
Team leader.
Are you the leader? So why don't you work together? This is the group project. Okay?
I'm not good at talking.
Doesn't matter. That's what I really hate statement from the student. Okay? The presentation and especially the presentation is not a problem of the fluency in English. Okay? If you think that you are not enough to practice, that's the best way. It's a skill. Okay? Anyway, to survive here, you need to do something. So don't think about your presentation is not good. You need to, at that time, need to do more. So I hope next time you need to present. Okay? I assign to your team. Then he should be the presenter, first presenter. You can take turn, but you should be the first presenter. I will note. Okay, the next. Any suggestion? Okay, the next.
Actually, this presentation, we're gonna show you what we have done so far. Actually, we have a problem with our data set. Initially, we have some missing values, so we did some pre-processing in order to be able to import it to the R environment. Actually, mainly we spent some time to get familiar with R environment. So this slide show you how we were able to get the data and import it into our environment and then view it. Also, this slide show you we were able to do the clustering. Actually, in our project, in our proposed solution, we're gonna use a special kind of k-mean to do clustering. So, but initially we started to do the regular k-mean using R. Then for later we're gonna modify the k-mean itself. So this,
you modify the existing k-mean.
yeah,
That is what part did you modify?
Actually, we proposed a different that weight. We proposed
different weight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we add weight to that. So right now we already find the open source cleaning algorithm. We are looking for those source code, and we just to change the objective function and the weight.
At that time, it's very important in your research when you apply the data mining technique for data analytics. I don't think nowadays the researcher who propose a new data mining algorithm. Instead, they just the existing one. If you attend the PhD dissertation, most of them actually they use SADs. The one enhanced approach is you can modify, like the different objective function is general. Okay. Also, you should highlight your contribution if you can get the better result. So you can compare with the original k-mean algorithm with the modified. Then at that time, how you modify, you need to represent your work, like the something ABC, the corner or the objective function, or you focus on the attribute. So you need to highlight. This is your job. If you can get the better, otherwise nobody will recognize. Okay, that's much better than using the built-in, already built-in function.
We have on the source code on the web,
Yeah.
and we are trying to modify.
But you need to highlight in your document and everything what you.
Yeah. Actually, this is the final report. We're gonna compare between the regular one and our
Sometimes you modify a lot. That can be your own name. Okay? So somebody used a different k or the fraction k. So instead of the random k, so they make something. The k, not just k means or the fk or something like that. So you can name such a modified one. Yes.
Anyhow, so we were able to also plot our result, using the regular one, and so in the future work we're gonna have first of all we have no problem with our data set. Actually, we are thinking to generate or to find out a way to have more data set. Also, the other thing, the main part we should do, modifying the current k-mean in order to satisfy our proposed solution. And also we're gonna work on the other project requirements, which are the meeting video and 3D visualization and poster.
Oh, by the way, what is the data set, name of the data set?
Heart disease.
What is the size of the heart disease data set?
That is quite a small data set, just 303 instance.
We had posted some mail regarding to data set problem. You suggested us to just manually increase the data size. So we have decided.
What we decided is I would like to look into those attributes, and I will try to write some code to generate some randomly data set.
Yes, so you can show the result from the original data set and also synthesized data set. Also you can.
Yeah.
So that's another way to show.
And for 3D visualization, what we were thinking about right now, since we have 16 attributes, we would choose 3 attributes makes more sense of that. And I think that's the idea.
Okay, so any suggestion? So in case you have the small data set, so that's another way to make the synthesized data set. But that should be reasonable, not just random. So you can consider some same distribution, same characteristic of the attribute from the 300 data set. So you can use the Gaussian distribution or normal distribution. Okay. Any suggestion? Okay, thank you. And the next team 5.
we're going to do the sentimental analysis for the product reviews. So basically, we're getting all the reviews from Amazon. So we got it from like there's a website like UIC hosted an Amazon review website. Like they did some sentiment analysis on the Amazon reviews. So we had to basically get the reviews from them. So the initial the data pre-processing step was like we used the Stanford NLP parser in order to find the parts of speech. So basically, the input of the file would look like some statements like this. So we are going to run this text file using.
So are you using any specific crawler, or did you implement by yourself?
This is the Stanford NLP parser to find the parts of speech of the different statements.
So how do you get the text information from the Amazon review?
Yeah, Amazon reviews.
So
There's a ready-made data set for those reviews which are collected in a particular website.
UIC has
there's
we got
a
it from
website
there.
that collect our.
Yeah.
And we also get some specified products
Yeah.
and get.
You need to mention in your presentation how you get such a data set. If you use a specific data set that collect such a review information, you need to mention that. Okay.
So then using that input information, we are passing that input information in our NLP parser, where we are able to find the parts of speech of all the sentences. So, for example, if NNP is like WRB, JJ, so they're like JJ represents an adjective, so it represents the parts of speech of each word in the statement. So further analysis is like how we would be doing the stemming and tokenization and using the bag of words to determine the positive and negative, train this particular data, and then use this for classifying our
So currently you have this one. Then you are going to get training, and how are you going to train them, and how are you going to? So your goal is to. What is your goal of your project? So when you have such a review data,
we are classifying whether the particular product has more number of positive review or negative review, or whether the customers are neutral about the project.
so expected output can be the positive or negative.
Negative.
It's a binary problem. But you can also think about the range or the category. Okay.
It's
So
not just
it
binary.
can-
We have the third category also, like whether the customer review is about neutral, like product is okay or.
Yeah, so that's the one thing you guys need to define. What is the class? It's a binary problem, positive or negative, or the multiple class, or they can be the kind of the scale, like the 0 to 10, or the continuous data, like the probability. So 100% means it's a 100% positive, and 0 is a future. So like a 40% suggestion, something like that. You guys need to determine depending on your algorithm. Okay.
So we are using Navy Bayesian and SVM classification algorithms. Yep.
So any plan for your final product?
Final?
Yes. Team 6, why don't you be ready?
Final.
So final, the output is as the previous team mentioned.
3D.
Yeah, the 3D, the visualization, as well as your graph evaluation, anything or presentation, and the poster. So you need to think about such the plan for the final
We are
product.
currently thinking about a 3D visualization, like we are not getting.
That's the one mandatory. So there are several things, so you need to make a plan for that. Okay. For BJ, we change it. It works, right?
Yes.
So you're changing this.
Okay, yeah.
This works.
Hello, our system is mainly, we are looking to have like a good recommendation system for H1B visa applicants. Okay, the data set that we have, we collected the data set from the source of H1B for 2014. And we have this kind of data. We have the status of the application and the employer name, the company's name, the address, and the city, state, and the job title. Since we have like a diversity of the data that we have, so we actually first we did some statistical statistics to find actually what is the most status that we have, and we use R programming to have this one. The second one is to find out which state has the most certified applicants, and also we use R programming for that. Clearly we have California from the chart here, which has the most certified applications, and we go back to our language. We apply a priori in R, and we get close results, California, and we use the library A rules for the rules in our language. There is another one is here, which is also give me California and Texas. The problem that we faced, actually, we needed to reduce the support and the confidence, because we have a very large data. We have 500,000. So we picked from that, we picked 1,000 applications, and we have various, I mean, in the job title, we have about more than 200 job titles, and we have this kind of variety. So with higher percentage of support and confidence, we couldn't get the result that we were looking for. This is like just preliminary results. We are looking in future. We want to have a good data. We will select a good data based on some given. We will choose from our data to have more percentage, or if we apply more percentage in support and confidence, we may get a good result. Also, we are doing our video poster. I don't know about the 3D. Our plan, actually, we want to apply another algorithm, which is Mahout, but I don't know if our data will support that or not, because we just finished that recently. We will Mahout with this in the next step. About the 3D, we tried to do the K-means. We couldn't, because the data does not support that. So the 3D, I have some concerns about that, because, but you know, we'll try to have some 3D to have a good virtualization.
So my main concern is when you apply the priori algorithm, when you apply something such a frequent, any data mining technique, you have something expectation without any knowledge. Just apply the algorithm, you want something get a very nice result, no, you cannot get it. So what are your expectation from this analysis? You want to find something, the approval rate by the attribute that can contribute to increase the approval, or what do you expect?
Yes,
Yeah.
if we can just determine some parameters, like job title, and search about job title, certified in job title, and in which state is that gives me a good high number of certified data. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so try to find such a thing, and not just you get the result of the such a rule, whether you guys can interpret the different way such a rule using such an output of the data analysis. Okay, applying the prior algorithm is just the application, and using the result you can analyze or differently, or whether there's another thing you can do that can contribute, that can help the user or those who want to apply the H-1B visa. Okay? Why don't you think about such a practical way when you analyze? So my question is, anyways, it's not very clear what you want to do when you apply the priori algorithm. So clarify such your objective or your the analysis. Okay.
Okay. And for a prior algorithm, actually, if we have some given data, and we want to, like we have job title, and we have some choices like which state, and because and city, because if we have a state that had for that job title, specific job title, has a high number of certified, that will be recommended for the applicant.
Okay. So
And we
also
try
regarding
to
the
compare
3D,
with the
you don't have to be much serious. It's only for the 3D visualization. You can, on purpose, make the page of if you have for example, this 2D, the histogram, why don't you make the 3D histogram? Okay, from this. Okay, by adding just the Z value is something the
Professor, for comparing issues, actually we compare our priority results with the histogram, because histogram just
yes
analysis, and it gives like the same.
Okay.
We can thank you.
Next, the team number 7. I think we have 7 teams, right?
Yes.
Change. No, just change the.
This is yes. There are 2 buttons. One is the HDMI if you are using the HDMI. Another one is the VGA if you are using the VGA cable.
We just want to share how far did we get in our project. This data set is a data set of a bank, and we got this data set from the UCI machine learning website. And when we got this data set, it was having mixed attributes like categorical, numeric, and all those type of various attributes. So we pre-processed the data, and now we have 2 data sets. One is completely numeric, and the other is completely categorical. So for numeric we can use for k-means, and categorical we can use for association rules. Then we were able to run the the categorical data set into R programming, and this is the result that we got. It was able to read and understand all the attributes. And then we just ran a sample in R programming to see how it works, and we succeeded in that too. Then we used a priori algorithm to find associations between all the attributes of a customer. So we yet did not select what are the interesting rules, but we were able to find a few rules. And then we try to find out rules using only specific attributes. Like for in this example, we try to find out what is the relationship between salary, marital status, and the class of the customer. Here we found some interesting rules, but we did not run the entire data set, so we cannot select which are the exact correct rules. So our next step is we were able to find rules between attributes, but we were not able to predict the class of customers using association rule. We thought that we would be able to do it, but then we will have to run like 4 attributes at a time and then match the rules with it. So we did some research on predictive modeling, and this is what we found. We found something called as logistic regression. It is highly used in banks, insurance sectors, and those areas. So this is a binary logistic model which is used to predict a binary response based on one or more predictive variables. In our data set, we have 20 attributes as the customer's information, and there is one Y class that is the dependent of the attribute. So, and it has two things, that is good customers and bad customers. So it is a binary outcome. So we are planning to use logistic regression, and my team is working hard to find out how to implement this into R. So this is our main objective. We will try to use SAS, R, or Excel. If we don't succeed in SAS or R, we are thinking of using Excel. But okay, then next thing, and more, we are also trying to find out. That was our main objective. The second objective of our project is doing more detailed analysis on the customer's data. So trying to find out what job type leads to people to take what type of a loan, and what is the relationship between age and number of credit that a customer holds, and what is the relationship between salary, marital status, and the credit history of a customer. Other thing that we are trying to identify is, are there any cross-selling opportunities? So if a customer already holds one credit card, what are the key attributes which will lead him to buy another credit card? We don't know how we are going to do it, but we are doing some research on that. And then there is some new thing that we learned, and Namse will explain it about.
Yeah, the principal component analysis we are going to use, like once we divide two groups, when a new customer comes, we are trying to measure using Euclidean distance or variance with other instances, and by that we can identify if that customer belongs to which group. So for that we're going to use PCA.
Definitely such the data analysis, the pre-processing is sometimes everything.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So pre-processing is very important. So you should be expertise on the data, and also you need to transform some of the data. Also sometimes you need to change the categorical data into some of the continuous data into categorical data, something like that. And also the applying the PCA is one of the good way to reduce such the attribution. Okay.
Yes, actually Ankit and Ankur also worked hard on pre-processing the data. One attribute we had is like the gender and marital status were clubbed together, so it was very difficult to predict something out of it. So we had to separate those two attributes, like we separated the gender and the marital status from it. Like we had 2-3 attributes like this, and now the data is clean and we can use it for algorithms.
Okay. So it's the same thing for the, you need to highlight what your contribution in this project. Okay.
Yeah, we have the slide line which is highlighting what all.
Whether that is the applying the different algorithm, it can be considered ensemble. If you consider applying the priori, then apply the something the logistic regression, then before that the principal component analysis. So then if you can get the better result, that is kind of the ensemble approach. And whether you focus on the application part, like getting the good customer or bad customer. So you'd better highlight what is the main contribution of your research and try to show that.
Even we are thinking to apply classification algorithm as our data is our analysis in the form of binary, like our result in the form of binary. Good customers and bad customers, so we can classify good customers in one other groups. So we can do that in our program.
Okay.
So we are
Professor, we would like to have your recommendation. Right now you said that we need to focus, like are we planning to do more of analysis or are we trying to implement more algorithms and try to counter them? So what
I
would be
think that
suitable?
in this, the research you guys can decide based on this question, because you are better than me, okay? I do not know much about your progress. I'm just the guide using the criteria overall. I think this time it's your job to decide where you guys focus. Also, you can focus on the separate job that try to best to present your work. If you believe that this one is a new contribution, several contribution, okay?
So we can use sample data.
Sample data for what?
Sample data, and we can apply all these algorithms to find
It
accuracy.
should be based on your data set. Okay? Should be based on data set and how you guys analyze. So you can show the step by step. So this is a pre-processing, this is a PCA, and this is analyzing, and this is interpretation, and this is our final output. And if you possible, you can show the evaluation. Okay. Okay. So far, I think the most of the team are doing good. So we have the 2 more weeks. So I'm not going to have the interim check instead. This is what I'm thinking. We need to decide about the final presentation, how we are going to present the final. First, the format wise, I'm thinking the format, the workshop or conference. So we have the team. So each team will have the 10 minutes, probably enough. So that is the 70 minutes. So even though you attend the conference, international conference, you may have the 15 minutes to present your work. Okay? So which means you guys should be the train or the practice a lot. So I'm thinking 7-10 minutes for each team, and I'm going to invite, if possible, the professor or the PhD student, and then using something rubric, the evaluate. Okay? Then try to make the rank of the top, the first, second, third, even though there is no award. Okay? Awarded by your final grade. The first team will be A, next team A minus. Like that.
I did.
So I'd like to pretend such a real workshop, so we can name it, and also we can show the poster format of your presentation. Okay, it can be this room or outside. So you need to submit before we don't decide the date and time yet. You need to submit to print out. Okay, and that can be also used for the future opportunity, like the faculty research day, or even though that is a year after, but I still keep, even though you graduate, I will contact you, then whether you still want to present such a work. Okay, then another thing is your 3D visualization as well as the video. The video can be shared by, if you don't want to share it by the others, we can restrict, but anyway, at least the group, we can share the video, and also we can display outside during the day or the workshop, so using the computer and the monitor outside, or also we can display your 3D output with your poster together. So, but the main issue is when we are going to have such an event. The last option is the April 28th is a Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, April 28th this time. Okay, but it's not much attractive. I'd like to invite the other student and also other faculty if possible. Is there any best way to present? But it's very hard because we have ASC. How many of you guys are attending ASC conference? The 3? So 4, 5?
Long Island, the same day. Long Island.
Long Island? So we have the upcoming event. Some of the students are attending. So it's Thursday and Friday. So I'm thinking the last week of the Wednesday, sometimes. So usually I'm thinking during the lunchtime. So lunchtime is 12:15 through 1:30, we have the 75 minutes. So if we can start from the 12. How many of you guys are having the class Wednesday morning?
Wednesday morning?
Yeah,
What
Wednesday
date?
morning.
Which date?
The April 29.
29.
So before the 12:15. 12:15. So how many of you guys are having the class? 1:30. So we can adjust the time a little bit. Okay, we can start from the 12 to the 2 o'clock. Then if you have a class,
We have a final exam, Professor, on 29.
do you want for me to set up the final exam also?
No.
So anyway,
For
so
other class we
but
have final
don't think
exam.
about the other class, but no matter where. So anyway, so you should be the multiple player. Okay, so I cannot consider unfortunately the other class. So I think the Wednesday is the only possible time for us if we wanna do the daytime presentation. Then April 28th we will quickly check the final, the progress. We are not going to have the